My name is Angela Cook-Hurd. My presentation is going to be over Medicare insurance. Medicare is a federally funded health insurance for persons 65 years of age or older, patients with certain disabilities. I thought it was interesting to note that you have to be disabled for 2 years if you're under 65 in order to qualify. The exceptions are children, babies that are born with disabilities. They are usually exempt from that. The premiums are paid by the patient or the responsible party. Medicare has several parts to it. They all pay for different things. Fraud is big business for companies that intentionally or unintentionally bill falsely, whether it be not having the correct documentation, or it can go as far as the patient's been expired and they're still billing. The U.S. General Accounting Office believes that $1 out of every $10 are paid out by Medicare, Medicaid claims end up being fraudulent. There's the False Claims Act, which is to help try to counteract the false claims that are being filed. The anti-kickback, antitrust statutes are to help with keeping everyone honest and not accepting payment or gifts for sending patients their way. There's a case that HCA was found guilty of. As far as $1.7 billion was found in fraud. They had to pay that back. Plus their CEO did end up doing some jail time. Because of that case, there are harsher consequences. Fines and penalties have been implemented. They're stricter about things when it comes to the fraud. And they have been focusing on Medicare Part B because that's where a lot of the fraud's going on, with electric wheelchairs and home health visits, enteral feedings, ambulance fraud. There are several agencies involved. The Office of Inspector General does audits periodically with the suppliers. If there's a red flag, they send for the chart, or they send someone in to look at the chart. Medicare Fraud Strike Force is set up in 9 cities to help combat the biggest areas of fraud. Medicare's come up with a comprehensive error rate testing program to help determine the paid claim error rate. I thought this was a good idea. I hope that it helps with getting the system sort of streamed out there, where it's a little bit more honest. It was set up on the honesty system, and that didn't work very long. People started figuring out the loopholes and how to file the claims and get them paid, and didn't care if it was an eligible claim. Change, because of all the fraud, change is coming for Medicare. To save the money, they're going to focus on how to decrease the amount of profits the suppliers make. Medicare wants to ultimately, create savings for the program and cut down the amount of revenues. That's not settling too well with the suppliers. They're going to find they'll find a different way to do business, or they'll seek out how to get the cheaper supplies to make the revenue there. The penalties have gotten stricter. I thought it was interesting that each state that plays, that helps with collecting the fraud dollars ends up getting a percentage, each state that this happens in. My conclusion is that, Medicare fraud has been a major problem that has been complicated from the start, in part by the way Medicare was set up. The system was built on the honor system, which basically paid the claims out as they came in with no questions asked unless a problem occurred. Medicare tried to implement many new things to curb fraud from happening, but it is too extensive to completely stop. Many companies appear to have the sentiment that fines are worth the risk so that they can make the money up front and let Medicare chase them down for the repayment later. It's going to be interesting to see how Medicare changes their system to allow for medical records, the electronic records, the baby boomers, keeping up with technology, and keeping up with the fraudulent claims. I appreciate your time, and thank you for listening. And again, my name was Angela Cook Hurd, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.